Welcome to Season 3 of TVGP's Critical Misses, watching all the hits we've missed for yet another season. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpier.
Hello.
And we're here to watch the Jonathan Wick cinematic universe, the Johnny Wick, Johnny Dubs. We're watching the old, it's what they called me in college, Johnny Dubs.
You went with his Christian name.
Yeah, it's hacker name John Wick. So I haven't seen any of these, even though it's one of those movies that I keep looking at and being like, I need to watch that. That everyone likes those. Those look good. I need to see them. I think last episode you said you haven't seen Chapter 3 Parabellum.
That is correct. I have not seen Parabellum, but I have seen 1 and 2. I became aware of these because I'm pretty sure it's directed by the same dudes who made the Raid Redemption series.
Ah, okay. Sort of a pedigree there.
Yeah, which is why this immediately got buzz on the internet as soon as it was announced.
Yeah.
Even with the immortal Keanu Reeves being as a renewal of his career. Because, let's face it, he wasn't doing nothing.
After The Matrix, he was sort of like, all right, see ya. I'm gonna sit down for a little bit.
Yeah, just taking a break, relaxing, and then what do you know? He comes back in John Wick.
So I'm glad you mentioned the internet about John Wick, because I feel like this is one of those movies that I know a lot about through osmosis and just being on the internet. So here's the couple of things I know about John Wick, the trilogy that might not be in this. Number one.
My first question is, do you know how it starts?
He's upset because someone kills his dog.
Okay, correct.
At some point he says, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Number 3, everyone is an assassin. Number 4, he kills everybody.
Okay. So, with the exception of the first two, the second two, from what I know, could pretty much be just used to describe all 3 movies.
Perfect. That's a selling point for any listeners too. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
The first 2 points, you are correct. They are John Wick 1 specifically.
Right. Killed a puppy. Johnny Dubs is angry. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
It's not just the puppy, but out of curiosity, tell me about the saddest starts to movies that you know of. There's one obvious one here.
I mean, I feel like the knee-jerk one would be Up, where it's like, oh, look at this movie, and 2.5 minutes later, you're like, why?
Reason number 1. That's a good example number 1.
Other sad starts to movies. I feel like this is a theme season in the works for Critical Misses here.
Well, we can do Up, but we've both seen it. Also, for the record, John Wick is a sad start movie. Okay.
I mean, a dog gets killed, so like...
It's more than just about the dog.
Okay. John Wick is wronged.
Yes.
Okay.
He is wronged in a very serious way. Do you know anybody who's in this besides the immortal Keanu Reeves?
No, and that's why I'm sort of excited, because I feel like Keanu Reeves is so famous at this point that there's probably a bunch of quote-unquote those actors, like That's Chappie actors, that will be like, oh, it's that guy. Hey, he's in this. All right. Like watching, was it Fast 5, I think, where you watch the opening credits and you're like, wait, they're in this? Wait, what's that? Wait, who's in this?
Wait, Jason Statham's in this?
Right. And I'm like, wait a second. I feel like that is going to be probably all 3 of these movies where it's like, oh my God, they got Helen Mirren in this one? Like this is serious. I'm expecting Helen Mirren to show up in every one of these series at this point.
Yeah, because it works in the first season.
That's right.
So, you know the basics of it. You know Keanu Reeves, you know...
Shooty, bang, bang.
Yes. Let's set some expectations here, because when we discussed this pre-show, I can't remember if we recorded it or not, we were talking about this movie specifically, or this series being pure action.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of plot to it, but not a lot.
Right. Because season 1 was heist slash action slash driving action. Season 2 was heist.
Season 1 was also evolution. It was also
True.
how can you go from a dumb car racing movie to
Right.
James Bond, essentially.
Right. Right. Season 2 was pretty much pure heist, and now we're getting into kind of it always comes up when people talk about what I affectionately think of as pure action movies. Doesn't mean they're dumb, doesn't mean they're worthless. I like a lot of pure action movies. I would even hesitate to say, like, for what they are. They're just, like, think about the Crank movies. Those are pure action movies from front to back.
I haven't seen any of them, just so you know.
It's a good short season for us on Critical Misses. I'll have the editor.
Jason Statham. We don't have enough Statham in
It's
our
Baby
list.
Statham too, which is really good. And there's such a good joke at the beginning of Crank 2 that is it's so perfect. Note for the editor, that's me. Go write that down. And I think pure action movies get so unfairly maligned when it's just like, just take the ride, like just have fun with it. It doesn't need to be Tenet or anything. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, what does it mean? It's just like, no, man, he shot 15 dudes with one bullet. That was awesome.
And let's find out how high the body count can go in these movies.
That's the stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
a bunch of faceless idiots in a warehouse getting gunned down. That's the stuff.
Yes, pretty much. Okay, so, again, setting some groundwork here. This isn't Rambo. He doesn't have a 50 cal like mounted machine gun that he literally mows down an army with.
Right.
Having only seen one Rambo movie, that's from like Rambo 4. I know that much.
I have to assume they're all like that.
Except for Rambo 1, which is the very serious movie. That's the grown-up one.
Right.
All the rest of them are body count movies. When it comes to being a spy, what is the one good thing that Sterling Archer is good at?
He's not good at sneaking.
No, he's not good at sneaking.
Talking his way out of something, maybe?
He's not good at that. You know he's not good at that.
That's true. I don't know what Sterling Archer is good at.
He always brings it up whenever him and Lana are in a firefight together. He is good at one thing.
I haven't seen Archer in so long. I'm drawing a serious blank.
He's good at counting.
Aha, I see.
So this movie goes absolutely dead serious realism.
Mm-hmm.
If you want something good to watch, go watch, after we've done the trilogy, I would say, go watch Keanu Reeves doing his military training. Because
I have seen that, because that's been the thing after like the first 1 or 2 came out. Everyone on Twitter is like, wow, this guy like took this seriously. And now he's out in the desert in one of those training things, like switching guns and reloading and looking down sights and other gun terms.
Yes, he uses a variety of different actual shooting stances that are real things.
Oh, wow.
He literally does 90% of his own stunts.
Oh, wow.
Like, there's only a few he doesn't do. And every gun fired has the correct number of bullets in the chamber.
Crazy. What is this, Equilibrium?
Magazine, I should say. Pardon?
I said, what is this, Equilibrium?
Yeah,
Equilibrium's a good movie, don't add us.
It is really good. Go away, I don't care. It's fun, especially in 2020, that movie stands up even more.
It's true. Yikes. That's impressive.
It's a very, very realistic movie, like combat style, shooting style, tactics, things like that. All of it is hyper realistic. And a lot of it is done in single continuous takes.
Oh, that's the good stuff. That's the stuff I love so much. Like, I always have a hard time with an action movie where it's 30 different takes, or, you know, the action is like way too close on the actors to see all the cool stuff. Yeah.
Well, get ready to see some cool stuff, my boy.
Yeah. I'm very ready. Other than that, I feel like I've been trying to stay in the dark about this movie for as much as you can, kind of, for the last couple of years, mostly because it's always around the corner that I want to see it. Where it's like, man, I'll keep that on my short list. I'll watch that next.
Yeah.
And it kind of never came up, but thankfully now here in season 3, it's coming up.
Now
so
now you have content to produce.
That's right. That's the most important thing. We're producing content. All right, you ready to go watch the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to the second part. I just closed my notes here of season 3, episode 1. We're here to talk about John Wick, the old Johnny Dubs.
I tell you, the last time I made this many notes was for a Fast and the Furious movie.
Yeah, I didn't make a ton of notes here. I have 4 lines, which is a lot more than I did for last season. Last season was very good, but there were a couple of specifically timestamp notes here that I wanted to make. All right, so let's start here at the beginning.
Where do we start?
One of my predictions, one of my osmosis notes at the beginning of this episode was John Wick is upset because someone killed his dog.
Mm-hmm. And you are technically correct.
Yeah.
I didn't spoil exactly what the meaning of the dog was, but yes.
So it's so much worse than that because I think it sets the movie up really well without drilling for oil too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very clear that John Wick has gotten out of the hitman life, was very good, legendarily good. He killed 3 men with a pencil.
With that pencil.
Yeah. His wife passes away, and then
specifically, he got out of the hitman game to be with his wife.
Right, and then she passes away. It seems like not super long after he gets out of that life for good. Seems like they have a little bit of. Oh, okay, so yeah, they have a good couple of years together, and then
she gets sick.
Yeah, she gets sick,
very sick,
and then after she passes away, so part of what I'm upset about is they don't kill a dog. They kill a puppy that his dead wife gave to him yesterday.
And that is about 3 days after her funeral, for the record.
Right. So it's just like he's getting gut punch after gut punch, and then these Russian D-bags steal his car, kill his dog, and yeah, man, I don't blame you. Like, you ever want to go 8 poops? Like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, just go full John Wick. That's all you need to do.
And part of what I liked so much about, number one, this movie is fantastic. Part of what I like so much about it is that this movie was an hour and a half, like hour 45, something like that.
It spent probably about a good 20 minutes building it up.
I wrote down the time when the poops hits the fan. It's almost exactly at 30 minutes when he starts when he starts shooting dudes in his house. And I was like, the movie isn't slow in that first half hour because you're learning about the car, you're learning about the Russian mafia that he's working for. Like, you're learning a bunch of stuff, but they do such a good job of building up that mythos of the Baba Yaga that when
have the hype man scene here is one of my notes because we need to go back and discuss that. But go ahead, make your point.
But I think it's so interesting that when they let him loose in the house at that 30-minute mark, you see immediately why he is who he is. Like, the fight choreography from the first shot he takes in that movie is impeccable throughout that entire action scene. And it just, none of the rest of the movie lets down or gets any less good, but like, it's one of those like really confident film moments where it's like, we have built this dude up and now we're going to show him off. and our choreography is so good. We're just gonna have a bunch of wide shots of him just
with
murdering dudes.
really long takes.
Right, which is like, this is the action movie stuff I love. Like, I don't want to see two guys' torsos filling up the frame and I can't tell who's punching who or whatever. It's like, it's the Transformers problem. I want to see all this work and all this choreography and all this stuff that you've made, especially how great that house fight sequence is shot. Like, the lighting is perfect, and there's just every single movement, every single shot is perfect, and it's so good. But let's talk about Hype Man.
While you're talking about the lighting, really quick, just a quick off topic here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not a director of photography person. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
lighting guy. You will never know this. I didn't know this until I watched the Everything Great About John Wick series on YouTube. Thank you, Cinema Wins. This movie has 3 light shades. It has gray,
Uh-huh.
it has blue, and it has red. Anytime
Interesting.
John Wick is in control, it's mostly blue. Anytime he is under threat, it goes to red lighting. And anytime
Oh,
it's neutral, it's a very gray palette kind of scheme. Like in
interesting.
his house, it's entirely blue.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the red circle and it goes from reds to blues to reds to blues, depending on what floor he's on. When he has the fight in the nightclub where everybody's dancing and he's like doing the VIP lounge kind of bit at the top, the guys he's fighting are wearing red shirts, which is a joke on itself.
Right. Yeah, I caught those red shirts once. I was like, man, talk about another great shot when he's walking through the club after Yosef, and that like pulsing black and white background that's on that giant screen behind him. That's a really great shot.
This series has got some fantastic like comic book style looking shots.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kind of thing. But yes, let's talk about Aurelio and the Hype Man, shall we? Where he takes the car to Aurelio's chop shop, which is the appearance of Luigi Mario, which makes me laugh every single time.
I feel like I don't always see a lot of movies with that dude in it, but as soon as he shows up, I'm like, all right, this is gonna be good. Like, he's a good actor. Like, he's gonna do a good job, and he does great in here.
And I love the fact that like his first question is, "Where'd you steal the car from?"
He notices it. He recognizes it immediately, and he's like, "Oh my god, what did you do?"
And what else did you do? Oh, we did a real number on him, and we killed his dog.
And he's just like, he pales immediately. He's just like,
like it's like he backhands. Like, this is the kid of the Russian mobster.
right?
You just backhanded him, and he's like, "My daddy's going to hear about this," and he's like, "That's fine." And then literally the next scene is him drinking a scotch, and his phone rings, and it's the kid's dad. And you're just like, oh, how much trouble has Aurelio got himself into? He's like, "I understand you struck my son." "Yes, sir, I did." "Do you mind telling me why?" "Well, sir, he stole John Wick's car and killed his dog." And his response is, "Oh," and then puts the phone down.
That's one of my favorite scenes. It's just like, he just goes, "Oh," and then he's done. He's just like, "Yep, we're in trouble now."
Yeah, and then you get the full Hype Man scene, which is him telling his son what a really big idiot he is for not dealing with this nobody.
Right. Also, special mention here, Brooklyn Nine-Nine's The Vulture as the Russian mob guy's sort of right-hand man. Yeah. And I thought he was really good in that role. No.
Like, come on, Vigo, English, please. Which this is one of those movies that learned from Man on Fire, which was the first movie I'm aware of that did it, but with the colored and accented subtitles to put the emphasis on different syllables,
right,
is really, really good. Like, and the fact that Baba Yaga is bold, outlined in different colors when they're talking,
it's like orange, yellow. Yep,
it's a real that scene. Like, that's a villain hype up scene. That's the funny thing is, I've done a little bit of looking into this because I adore this movie, but that's a villain hype up scene that only works in the inverse in this situation, because the first 15 minutes is this is why you should care about John Wick.
And now the villains are afraid of him. Like, that says something, especially since he gets surprised at the beginning and Yosef knocks him down and beats him up and kills his dog. Like, it's there, you sort of get both sides
The
of the
blood
coin.
trail on that puppy as well.
Oh,
Like that.
that was the heartbreaking thing where it's like I thought the movie did a really good job. And we have historically had a problem on TVGP with us disliking villains that only appear villainous because they're puppy kickers. You know, it's just like, get out of my way. Yep, yep, yep. You know, it's just like, there has to be some better way to show that these people are evil. And I thought the movie did a really great job that the shot of the dog getting killed is not in focus, and like the focus is going in and out. You can't really, you know what's happening, but like you can't really see because it's shot from John Wick's perspective. And I thought, like, all right, that was actually for a movie that's going to kill a puppy, that was pretty well done. And then like when he wakes up and there's that blood trail, and I was like, like I don't like dogs. That's a heartbreaking scene.
Like I'm a cat. We're both cat people. We've established this in the past, but that scene it's a real kick in the teeth, especially like because there's so many little touches. Like when he makes coffee in the morning before he gets the dog, he makes coffee. He makes enough for 2 people, and he picks up 1 cup, and the cup next to it has got a daisy on it. When he gets the dog, it's got a daisy on the collar.
Right.
Like it's his wife's flower. It's the thing that represents his wife so well. And then to have that happen, it's just like, yeah. It's like my favorite part of the hype man scene, I'm not gonna lie, it's when Vigo's talking about him and like Yosef says, oh well, I'll deal with it, and he's like, he literally stops and he turns around and he looks at the vulture and he's like, did he not hear a word I just effing said?
Right. Like, you're gonna deal with it?
John Wick will come for you and you will do nothing because there is nothing you can do.
Right.
Because as I wrote it down here, John Wick is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer will. Which is one of my favorite descriptions of John Wick.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Go ahead.
Like we get the house scene, which I love the house scene. The cop is my favorite moment of the house scene.
Just like, hey, everybody going okay? And he just like steps back and he's like, all right, have a good night.
Noise complaint? Noise complaint.
Yeah.
You working again? No, just sorting some stuff out.
I like the cleaner guy and his crew. Like they show up in, was it 2 scenes in the movie? But it's one of those things where it's like you flick one of these coins at him and it's like, all right, off to work. Another day.
Reservations for 12.
Right. Special. Go ahead. Special shout out to Lance Reddick.
I was just going to say, because then we get to the Continental.
Yeah, Continental is really great. I like that there's this... I like a movie that has lore and a world building that isn't super interested in, like, having a blob of text on the screen where it's like, here's the Continental. It's a safe space. Right. There's so much of that there, and I think that works super well for it.
I love the fact he's like, same owners, and he's like, yeah, same owners, and then he slides the coin across the desk, and he's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's like we've figured out that everything is still on the up and up, so I'd like to get over here.
Depending on your perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that whole Continental is super, super cool.
What did you think about Commander Grayson, aka Ms. Perkins? Commander Grayson from the Orville, by the way, as Ms. Perkins.
Yeah, I thought she was really great. Not
in it a lot, but when she's in it, oh boy, is she in it.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen her in anything else other than those 2 things that I can tell.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She is in the latter seasons.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that. Yeah, Adrian Palaki.
She's really good.
Yeah, she's really good. The Vulture's name is Dean Winters. I had to go look him up because I hate calling him the Vulture, but
no, he's the
Vulture.
He will forever be the Vulture.
And not to be forgotten, like I thought here in the first part of this episode, I thought like I bet this will be one of those movies where I recognize everybody, and then Willem Dafoe pops up. We're just like, hey man,
he's literally in this. The best scene of the movie or the second scene. He's at the funeral.
He's at the funeral. It's like, that's Willem Dafoe. What's he doing here? He's he's really good in this movie too. We're just sort of he always helping John Wick out, even though he's not supposed to be, and then, of course,
Mhm.
that not quite working out for him in the end.
Yeah, one of the last old guard. No, sir, I do it by my own hand or by my own way.
Yeah, kind of like
Which,
I'm always kind of a sucker for those sort of storylines where it's like, we're the old guard. We treat all this stuff with respect. We have a code, but we're gonna kind of keep each other safe and help each other out.
oh boy, would you love professional wrestling? That's a joke. You wouldn't. Professional wrestling, oh god, and nightmare monsters.
Right. Oh man. But I feel like the rest of the movie is just
It's just go, go, go. I mean, you've got the red
it.
circle scene, which has got Kevin Nash. Speaking of professional wrestling, old god.
Well, and part of what I like about the red circle stuff is that John Wick has half of a plan going in there and does really well until he doesn't, and he's not invulnerable. That's the risk that you run with, one man army sort of movies. It's just sort of like, oh, I got shot in the shoulder and I'm fine. It's like, no, he got thrown off a balcony and like landed on his shoulder. Like this dude is messed up.
Like, let's not get that wrong as well. He got glassed by the dude who was the head of the Russian bodyguard people.
Yeah, he gets worked.
But my favorite part of this is also hype for John Wick because it takes someone who is literally the leader of one of the top Russian mafias in America. Their head bodyguard is the only person who stops him. And even then, he only stops him after shooting him twice in the chest.
Right, and I like that the doctor on call at the Continental is just sort of like
Keymaker.
Yeah, it's the keymaker, but it's also that John Wick says like, what do I need to do if I need to do some work again, and the guy doesn't even question it. It's just like, it's going to rip open. You're going to be in pain. Take 2 of these and it'll make it easier. It's just like, I know what these people do.
Have full functionality.
Yeah, it's just like, I know what these people do. I'm not even going to try and convince you of it. These are our jobs, respectively. Here's how you can kind of get back to it.
That's when Perkins does her moves at the Continental, which tickles me when they get the phone call from the front desk guy.
Right.
Who, by the way, the front desk guy's name is Sharon, as in Charon.
Yeah, Charon. Yeah.
The boatman for the dead.
Yep, which is really.
Which is a nice touch.
I actually liked that fight scene a lot. The sort of hand to hand.
The Perkins and Wick one.
Yeah, like really scrappy. Like not here is 2 people shooting guns at each other. It's like, now we don't have a lot of room in here, and we're supposed to keep the peace in this sort of neutral ground. So I'm just gonna beat the crap out of you.
Pulling up her leather jacket, putting it in her mouth so she can use it later as a choking device is a smart move.
Yeah, really cool stuff. Like,
You get the church, which. I love the church. Right? She gives John Wick the location of the church, and it's literally everything that Vigo uses to maintain power.
Yep.
And he destroys it all, and the Russian priest is like, Vigo will kill me, and then he probably shoots one of the guards, and he's just like,
Yeah, he's like, okay, just open the door, man.
That literally means nothing to me, dude. By the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
And it's the scene that you mentioned that you might know beforehand is him saying, "Yeah, I think I'm back," when him and Vigo have the sit down in the church.
Great scene.
Yes, it's great scene. It's well shot, and it kind of puts towards this thesis of the movie, which is John Wick unlucky or is it fate? Did some twist of fate take his wife away from him because of the life he led before that?
Sure.
And then is pulling him back in, or is he just a person who got some really bad luck at one point?
Is it karmic payback, or is it just the roll of the dice?
And there's that whole conversation between Wick and Vigo, and that's when the I'm thinking I'm back scene comes into it.
Like the one time in the movie that John is emoting really well, because he sort of has a goal and he has a focus before then. And I think at that point it's sort of like, yeah, this is genuinely how pissed off I am. So like, and then
I
it
found
does
a
the
way to have peace and
right,
not be alone, and your stupid son took
right.
that away.
We're both mad at him, but you know, it's sort of your fault.
And
Yeah.
my favorite thing is, like, even tied up with the two bodyguards, he says to him, "Step aside, give me your son,
Right.
and we'll call it even."
Yep. And then they put a plastic bag on his head, which I really hate in movies because it freaks me out. Just like it's one of those things where I'm like, he can't breathe. He can't breathe. It's like, yeah, that's the point. But
Yeah,
ugh, ugh,
but yeah,
ugh.
he gets saved again by good old Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, doing his finest
God,
work.
what a great 2-second shot of that bullet flying through that window and hitting that dude in the head. But like the camera, it doesn't. They don't follow that shot forever. It's not a super slow motion shot, but it moves fast enough and slow enough that you know exactly what happened. I think that's it's a great shot.
Yeah,
So many good
and then
shots.
you get the mini boss fight with
Yes.
the head of the bodyguards and John Wick, which,
Yeah.
again, the head of the bodyguards took him down at the church after the assault rifle scene by
Mhm.
ramming a car into him while he was distracted with other people, by the way.
What a shot too of him just flying after getting hit by a car. Like, oh man.
And yeah, he chases down Vigo with the shotgun. That
hmm
really cool full auto, like, pump action shotgun kind of thing.
I like that he had just been strangled and suffocated, and 2 seconds later he's out on top of Vigo's car, like shooting his driver and threatening him with this, where it's like, no, you're going to do what I need you to do because now I'm really pissed.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he attacks the safe house, which, fun fact, I don't know if you caught it, but the video game that Yosef's friend is playing, that's a Dust 315, the EVE Online first-person shooter.
Yeah, I hadn't recognized it. I meant to look up what that was because I was like, man, did they make this for the game or for the movie? Because it sort of looks like that. And hearing that it's Dust 315, it's not far off.
Yeah, and my favorite thing is one of the people he kills is got the gamer tag of Point Break.
Great. I do like that he doesn't let Yosef even speak. Like he's just like, oh, it was just a blat. It's just like, I don't care. I know what you're gonna say. I'm just. We're done here. I'm.
It's something my wife and I talked about at the red circle, because he's got a shot on him at the red circle and he doesn't take it. He does not take the shot at the red circle when he could very easily do it.
Yep.
Now that could be because of the prostitutes or ladies of the night.
Right. There's a ton of people around him.
Yeah, it could be because of that, but it does look like he has a couple of chances to get a good clean shot off, and honestly, he wouldn't miss. This is John Wick.
Right.
And it's literally, I think it's just the fact that that shot of Yosef between the containers with John Wick just walking towards the camera and doing
coming into focus.
A Rock from Fast 5, where he just literally strolls past the main antagonist, pops him, and then turns around and walks away.
Yeah. Without even saying anything, it's just like, pap, see him. Yep.
Which, it was definitely a personal thing for him, which I liked. But yeah, then what's after that?
I think that's just the ending where it's, hey,
he's
gonna.
No.
Well,
Thingio gets killed. Willem Dafoe gets killed at that point as vengeance.
Yeah, that's right.
And then as vengeance for the vengeance, Vigo gets killed.
Yeah. And I thought it was really funny where it's like, as everyone is going near the helicopter, it starts raining. It's like, all right, here we go. This is going to be like the rainy fight scene at the end. Which was as cool as it was, one of those like samurai film inspirations. I thought that ended fairly well. Like he through some way or another, he kills pretty much everybody that's involved with Vigo.
What did you think of the car combat when he's driving his Mustang around and just shooting fools?
Dude, it's so cool. Dude, just like doing like a fishtail U-turn around someone. It's like blap blap blap
Blah,
as
blah,
he's
blah,
like
blah, blah.
fishtailing, and yeah, just like shooting someone through the
I was gonna
roof of
say
his car
the
as he's going
reversing.
by, and it's just like as I'm watching it in bed, I'm just like, it like 15 times during the movie, I'm just like, God, that's cool. It's just like to myself, where it's like, oh man, that's cool.
That might be one of my favorite ones. The reversing, hitting someone, and as they roll over the roof, he's just
Yeah,
like
just
bang,
pop pop
bang,
pop pop.
bang, bang.
Yeah, like, and just like fishtailing and shooting people 3 or 4 times as the car is still moving and like never stopping and continuing. Like, there's a great scene of the Vulture where he's like, "I need a gun. Someone give me a gun." And Vigo's just like calmly hands him a gun. Where he's like, "Good luck."
Because Vigo's also stoned off his cake hole at this time
Right.
because he's just been
He
taking
knows
so
what's
many
gonna happen.
drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I thought that resolved pretty well, and I liked the last scene of the movie where he patches himself up and he sees that dog and he's like, "Yeah, man, you're coming with me." And
Did you notice what was stamped on the dog's cage?
no.
For termination.
Oh, there you go.
So he actually saved the dog from being put down too.
And I like that the last shot is just him completely injured walking that dog home. And then it's just credits. And it's like, yeah, man, all right. Like, I don't really need closure after that because we kind of get everything we needed out of that.
We also does the excommunicado scene happen after that, or does it happen before that?
I think it happens right before, because the beginning of the movie starts with him apparently dying while he's watching the video on the camera.
The excommunicado scene happens, and then Clifton calls John to say that a certain somebody is heading towards a certain helipad, so it's before the rain fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miss Perkins gets excommunicated from the Continental,
and the cleaner is right there, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie is really good. I was expecting it to be good, because I haven't really heard. The only complaint I've heard from people is this movie is really violent, and I don't like violent movies. 100% understandable, but literally everybody else that's watched this movie is like, yeah, man, this movie's pretty incredible, and it's way better than I was expecting to be incredible, and it's way better than I thought it was.
What did you think of Keanu? This being his huge comeback into the mainstream after a long time away.
Yeah, because really before that was The Matrix, and then kind of nothing as big. I don't believe since then. I thought he was great. I think he doesn't. I wish he had some more speaking lines, but that's kind of not the character. You know, it very much feels like an old black and white samurai movie where it's like, you know, your actions speak far louder than your words do, and if 15 words will do, then you'll speak 5. That sort of character, which helps the movie be cool, because he gets stuff done without having to be, you know, talking a lot. He's not coming in and being like, "Lo, and thus Marcus perished." He's just like, sits on the stairs and he's like, "Ah, man, all right, back to work."
To give you an idea, by the way, he was doing approximately between 2 to 3 movies a year. Matrix really bumped it up. He did like 4, 5 in 1 year with Matrix stuff.
Wow.
And then 2008, he did The Day the Earth Stood Still, the remake, which it's not a great movie. I'm not going to lie. And then he did 1 movie in 9, 1 movie in 10, 1 movie in 12, 1 movie in 13. Sorry, 2 in 13. And I haven't heard of any of them except for 47 Ronin.
Oh, right, he was in that.
And then he did John Wick.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen recently from him is he has a large cameo in Always Be My Maybe, which he plays himself.
That's one where he's the boyfriend of the girl, and he walks into the restaurant.
It's really good. He plays himself, and if anyone hasn't seen the movie, this is like very minor spoilers.
It's so memed. Like, everybody has seen the video of him walking through that purple room doing the finger guns and the eye blinking.
But he's in the movie for about the next half an hour because he starts off as like this really... He starts off as like the most friendly Keanu you've ever seen, and then it turns into him at the end, he's actually just a terrible person, like in the way that real life Keanu isn't. But it's kind of funny seeing this like devolution into that. Anyway, John Wick. John Wick is really great. I'm glad we've had some sort of action movies back to back here, but this will be a short season, and I'm really looking forward to all of these.
Yeah,
man.
I've seen 2. I haven't seen 3. So
okay. I've heard that people like all 3 of them.
Yes, I've heard basically the biggest complaint about Parabellum is it's more John Wick.
Okay. Oh no. someone gave me $1,000 more. Oh no.
Exactly.
Right.
Other than that, like, I mean, if you haven't, you should probably check out the posters for these. Actually, I'm sure you do, because I think they go up somewhere with the
You're watching artwork. The video version. It's just to the right of me, and it's above Moon. Thank you to the posterdb.com.
The posters for these movies are incredibly good, and they just get better.
Yeah, super stylish. Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts here on John Wick?
No, I love these. I love this movie.
2 thumbs up, 3 thumbs up. Super good.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it for this first movie, and we'll see you next episode for John Wick Chapter 2. Bye.
Oh boy.